Well, I'm talking in mute. We're live on YouTube also.
Okay.
So we do have a couple of folks in YouTube or already. And
Morning.
then you sent me something that we're gonna start with.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Happy to have you here. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Yes. Glad to have you all everywhere, wherever you're on, however you're on.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. How you doing?
Great.
Wonderful. There you go. That's right. What's today?
Saturday. Me.
That's right. That is right. Okay, we know officially Alexis has left school. She's not still there. We can reassign the relief. We don't search committee out there.
I just left school.
That is hilarious.
I'm just pulling out of the parking lot now. For real, I'm leaving.
Right.
Oh man, that's
Summer is approaching.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Oh man, you probably won't even drive down that street. You're like, nah, I'll just go around. I'll just go around.
Right.
Yeah, boy. Mm. Yeah, Sarita, I see you sitting in your power chair this morning. You mean business.
Yes.
You mean business.
I mean business this morning.
It. That is it.
I'm assuming all over the place this morning. I'm telling you.
Listen.
Okay.
Like the famous Latoya said, on purpose.
On purpose.
We're doing all these things anyway. We're going to talk about doing all these things anyway. And when we come here, we act like we're trying to perform some kind of magic trick. And I mean, and maybe it feels like magic to do something completely different than we ever have, as far as to do something we've always been doing on purpose, to do it with consciousness, to do it on purpose. I mean, it probably does feel like magic. It feels so different, or dissimilar to the way we have been doing things that it probably feels all kind of ways, right? But the point.
That's all right. I'd rather have the uncomfortable feeling of figuring it out than the feeling of just assuming all over the place unbeknownst to me.
Yes. Yeah. It's why it's why we're always assuming, which is why life is happening. But since we have been doing it so unconsciously, right, without not with without awareness, it's why the life that is always going oftentimes doesn't make much sense to us.
Mm.
It's why it feels like luck, like guessing, like probability, like hoping, like wishing, like the lottery. Like, we all talk about the lottery like the lottery is only the lottery when we're playing it. And we don't realize that most often, most of us, most of the time, are living the lottery. Every day is a guess. Every day we're hoping on luck. Every day we're hoping to strike it rich, meaning to live a life different than what we're living. Because it doesn't make a lot of times our lives don't make much more sense than how to win the lottery. We just feel like if we keep playing, maybe we'll hit it. Or if we keep living, maybe we'll make it. But they both, if you look at the sentiment toward them, they both feel as uncertain, unsure. I know what I want, but I don't really know how to make this work or how to make this happen. They both feel the same in a lot of ways, right? It's like we're as much as we think we're just playing the lottery with a ticket, a lot of times we're living the lottery with our life. Every day it feels just as much guesswork, just as much luck, hope, wish, maybe, all the other stuff. When I make it, right? When I strike it big, all that other stuff. So yeah, we're gonna get into that today. It's gonna be wonderful. All right, it's time.
7 o'clock on the dot.
Wonderful. All right, happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome. It's good to see everybody. You can put your hand up if you want to read. Going to start off with a story. Maybe read like maybe a paragraph or so. 4 or 6 sentences, paragraph or so. If we, just in case we have a lot of people wanting to read. If not, then we can read more. So people can read more if there's not a lot of people. So all right, we'll start off with the story. We'll start off with Alexis and Leanne and Sarita and all the other stuff. So,
All right.
all right,
Un
let's get it.
momento. Let's pull it out.
Perfect.
Let me make it a little bigger. And where's everybody at? All right. Alexis, go ahead.
This is the story of a very unexpected result of an interview with a lady who came to consult me. One afternoon, a young grandmother, a businesswoman in New York, came to see me. She brought along her 9-year-old grandson who was visiting from his home in Pennsylvania. In response to her questions, I explained the law of assumption, describing in detail the procedure to be followed in attaining an objective. The boy sat quietly, apparently absorbed in a small toy truck, while I explained to the grandmother the method of assuming the state of consciousness that would be hers were her desire already fulfilled. I told the story of the soldier in camp who each night fell asleep, imagining himself to be in his own bed in his own home.
Perfect.
When the boy
Perfect. Okay, next person. That way we get enough people in.
All
Thank
right. Leanne.
When the boy and his grandmother were leaving, he looked up at me with great excitement and said, "I know what I want, and now I know how to get it." Surprised, I asked him what it was he wanted. He told me he had his heart set on a puppy. To this, the grandmother vigorously protested, telling the boy that it had been made clear repeatedly that he could not have a dog under any circumstances, that his father and mother would not allow it, that the boy was too young to care for it properly. And furthermore, the father had a deep dislike for dogs. He actually hated to have one around. All these were arguments the boy passionately desirous of having a dog refused to understand. "Now I know what to do," he said. "Every night, just as I am going off to sleep, I am going to pretend that I have a dog and we are going for a walk. No, said the grandmother. That is not what Mr. Neville says. That's not what Mr. Neville means. This was not meant for you. You cannot have a dog.
Perfect. Okay, next person.
Approximately 6 weeks later, the grandmother told me what was to her an astonishing story. The boy's desire to own a dog was so intense that he had absorbed all that I had told his mother of how to attain one's desire. And he believed implicitly that at last he knew how to get a dog. Putting this belief into practice for many nights, the boy imagined a dog was lying in his bed beside him. In imagination, he petted the dog, actually feeling his fur. Things like playing with the dog and talking to it and taking it for a walk filled his mind. Within a few weeks, it happened. A newspaper in the city in which the boy lived organized a special program in connection with Kindness to Animals Week. All school children were requested to write an essay on why I would like to own a dog. After entries from all the schools were submitted and judged, the winner of the contest was announced. The very same boy who weeks before in my apartment in New York had told me, now I know how to get a dog, was the winner. In an elaborate ceremony, which was publicized with stories and pictures in the newspaper, the boy was awarded a beautiful collie puppy. In relating this story, the grandmother told me that if the boy had been given the money with which to buy a dog, the parents would have refused to do so and would have used it to buy a bond for the boy or put it in a savings bank for him. Furthermore, if someone had made the boy a gift of a dog, they would have refused it or given it away. But the dramatic manner in which the boy got the dog, the way he won the citywide contest, the stories and pictures in the newspaper, the pride of achievement and joy of the boy himself all combined to bring about change of the heart in the parents, and they found themselves doing which they never conceived possible. They allowed him to keep the dog. All this the grandmother explained to me, and she concluded by saying that there was one particular kind of dog on which the boy had set his heart on, and it was a collie.
All right.
Wow.
So, first question. What did the boy, first question is, first question, one at a time. First question. Did the boy know what he wanted?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Two, so the boy knew what he wanted. So question two, did the boy know how to get what he wanted?
After that meeting, yes.
So when the boy first knew what he wanted, what was preventing him from getting what he wanted?
Not knowing how.
Not knowing how. Okay, so what you want is not the issue. Then what is the issue?
Getting it?
Knowing how to get it,
How?
knowing how to access it, knowing how to access it.
Yes, how is the issue? Okay, we all talk about how. Every time we talk about something, every time we talk about like this story, he wasn't even talking to the child, but the child heard. What did the child hear? What did the child actually hear? What did the child hone in on?
How to get what he wanted.
How to get what he wanted. How? What is another word for how in this context? What is the word for how? The word, the statement, the sentiment. What is the word for how?
Process?
Okay.
Imagining.
Okay.
Means.
Say it again.
The means.
The means. Okay. The process, the means. Okay. What did he, when he said he knew how to do it, what was he talking about? I know we were talking about the dog, but what does the dog represent?
His desire.
What does his desire represent?
His goals.
What do your goals represent?
Your awareness.
Your awareness of what?
Who you are, your interest.
Marlon put in the chat once.
What do all those represent?
Operations.
The end. Oh.
Mm.
He knew what he wanted. That was the
end.
He knew what he wanted. That was the
end.
That was the end.
That's not your end. What is your end?
Yachts.
No. What is your end? What you're saying, yes, that was the end, but that's not your end. That's why it's your problem. What is your end?
All the stuff that's happening in between.
So yes, otherwise known as what?
Distractions.
Otherwise known as what?
The process, the in between, the
Every time I tell you you can have something, what's the first thing you say?
how?
That's your end. That's where it ended. That's where it ends. That's why it's over. That's why that's it.
I don't like that.
That's what happened. Think about it. He knew what he wanted, but the reason he didn't have it is because he didn't know.
Oh.
So where is he in that moment?
Stuck.
At the end.
Of what?
Stuck in his how. Stuck in his how.
Of how. And if you don't know how, the end of how that you don't know how is what?
That's the end.
Right. Which leads to what?
Not getting what you want.
Which leads to, you complicated it. Which leads to what?
Satisfaction.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. When you look around and you don't see that thing, nothing. When you look around and you don't feel that thing, nothing. When you look around and you can't talk to that thing, nothing. Whatever your end is, that should be your end, but that's not your end. Your end is the how, and you die right there. Somebody says, one of you say to me, I want to be a millionaire. If you tell somebody, the first question they're going to ask you is what? I'm sorry?
How you gonna do that?
How are you going to do that? And if you don't have an answer to your satisfaction or their satisfaction, then what?
Doesn't happen.
Stuck there.
Then it is.
The end.
That's your end. That's all of our ends because we're focused on the wrong part of it. See, he knew what he wanted, but he didn't know how to get it. And since his brain couldn't give him the answer, his hands or his body, no matter what he did, wasn't going to get him the outcome. So when you think that you are going to use your hands to do something that is not in your awareness, you're not. You're only fooling yourself. It's like a cat chasing his tail or a dog chasing his tail, whichever one or both of them does it, whoever does it. You think that you're going to be able to justify yourself on how hard you work or how much you do or how long you stay or all the other stuff. But how? You know what you want. That's not the issue. The issue is you don't know how to get it. And instead of what you want being your end, meaning instead of what you want being your end, the how you're going to get it is your end. And since you don't have a how, then your end is right there. It died right there. No matter how much you want it, it died. It's dead. You're stuck. It's dead. There's nothing else moving right there. So the what is not the problem. I'm using the word problem. The what is not the problem. The what is not the issue. You being a millionaire, you want to have good health. We make, so then since we don't know how, we turn it back to the what, and we make the what the problem. Well, maybe I'm asking for too much. Well, maybe good health is too much. Being a millionaire, maybe that's kind of greedy. Maybe I don't want to be the 1%. Or maybe we should tax the rich. Or whatever we start telling ourselves. Or maybe a relationship. Well, maybe I'm not ready for a relationship. Maybe God doesn't want me to have a relationship. Maybe I'm just destined to be on my own. Maybe I'm just... Since we want something and we don't know how, as soon as we get to the how and we don't have an answer, we go back to the what and we crucify the what. You done hung it up on the cross. It is dead. It is dead as a doorknob. It is gone. You might as well be starting looking for Tupac, Biggie. You might start looking for James Brown, because that's about wherever they are, that's where your desire is at that point. They're all just as dead as each other, as one another. I want you to understand how this dies, where it dies, why it dies, so you can, I'm going to say fix it, but so that you can have a better understanding of how it works. Once you understand how it works, you won't have to fix it, because it won't be broken, because you won't break it, because you understand how to use it, how to do what it is you want, how to get what you want. Since we don't know how to get it, we start killing it. We start shaving it down. We start compromising it. We start conditioning it with, well, if I do this, I swear, God, if you just give me this, I'll do this with it. Or, but I just would like just a little bit. How come so-and-so gets them and I don't get any? Or like we start having a hard time with our desire in the first place because we don't know how to get it. And so we just go into all kind of conniption fits and all kind of other stuff over it. So let's go back to it. So the first thing he knew was what? I know what I want. I want a puppy. But remember in the story, was the teacher talking to the child?
No.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all. So then what the teacher was talking about had nothing to do with
The child.
but the child figured out what he was talking about and decided to use it. So the child honed in on what?
How?
Which is another word for what? That's correct. That's correct. The how. When all of you keep asking me about how am I going to do that? The child honed in on the how. What's another word for that? He wasn't even talking to the child. So what is it? The child honed in on the how. But what is you all want to know how? So what did the child hone in on? What did he actually get?
What he wanted. He got the process. He got the what I want, and this is how I'm going to get it. He got the process.
Okay, what is a word for that?
His desires fulfilled.
Yeah, but how do you do that? That's what you keep asking.
Got his plan.
Okay, but what plan did he get? He wasn't even talking. What plan did he get? What did he actually get? He didn't get the plan. He got something else.
An opportunity.
He got a way to get what he wanted.
What is that called?
Strategy.
Wish fulfilled.
Manifesting.
Help. What is that?
The law.
Is that what that says?
He got the law.
Oh.
See, when you understand the law, you don't have to be talking to me, and I don't have to be talking to you. I can hear you. I can take, because the only difference between what he wanted and what she was talking about was not the law, it was what you were applying the law to. That's why when he got the law, you didn't need to be talking to me. Oh, now I understand it, because you're talking to my grandmother about something that she wants, so to speak. But the only difference between her and I is the difference in what we want, not the difference in what it takes to have it. The law is you apply to everything. It doesn't matter what you're applying it to. So we think that's why when you don't know the law, what did I say in the group this week? I said, to the brain, there is no big and small to the brain that doesn't know. To the mind that does, there is no big or small to the mind that knows. There is no big or small to the brain that doesn't. Your brain that doesn't have an answer will stress you out over how you're going to get an ice cream or how you're going to get a job, how you're going to get to work or how you're going to pay your bill, what you're going to cook tonight, or what you're going to watch. Your brain will run you raggedy and wild over what you call small and big things, because to your brain, there is no small or big thing. There's only, do I have the answer or do I not? If I don't have the answer, it's all bad. To your mind that knows everything, there is no issue. There is no big or small. Because when you have the answer, there is no issue. I just have the answer. So there is no big or small. I have the answer. So having the answer, there is no big or small. To the brain that doesn't know, there is no issue too big or too small. To the mind that knows everything, there is no issue too big or too small. They're both dealing with it from, I know everything, so there's no problem or issue. I don't know anything, so everything is a problem and an issue. Size has nothing to do with it. Only whether you have the answer or not. The law is what he honed in on. He said, oh, that's how you get anything. He focused in on the law, not a rule. See, humanity has rules that you call laws, but they're not. They're only rules. They're the things that you tell yourself that you have to satisfy in order to reach your end. But by the time you get to your end, you're crawling through the jungle like Rambo. You done got shot, stabbed, you done got robbed. And by the time you get to your end, you don't have any gas left. You don't have anything left. You've sacrificed so much of everything, of all of your resources, you don't have any gas left in the tank. Because you're operating by a whole bunch of rules. But those rules that you're operating by are self-created and self-inflicted, and they become your own personal jail cell. They become your own personal mold that you have to operate within in order to satisfy your desired end. But you don't even really know how to get there. So now you're limited and you have a whole lot of other stuff going on. The kid honed in on the law. He understood the law. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. He understood it didn't matter what they were talking about. It only mattered how to get it. And so what did he say? He said, I know what I want. I knew what I wanted. I know what I want, but now I know how to get it. The how is the law. That's how you do anything, is using the law. That's your answer for everything. So when you say, I want to be a millionaire, well, how am I going to do that? Well, so now the boy said, I know how to do it. So what did he do? What did it say he did? And whatever it said he did, so there's two questions. What did it say he did? And then you ask yourself, was he doing that before he heard how to do it? So what did he do? What did he start doing? And was he doing that before he heard the law? So let's just go to the second question first. Was he doing whatever he figured out? Was he doing that before he heard the law?
No.
No.
No. So what did he have before he was doing that?
A desire.
Yeah. And what else?
What did he have afterward?
Before.
A
Oh,
bunch of naysayers.
He had a goal.
And what else?
He had a vision.
And what else?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, he was lost. Yeah.
Nothing. So what? Who cares? Nobody cares. You know what? You guys already got me upset, so I'm just gonna give it to you.
we got some new folks, so let's behave today.
Nobody cares nothing about your little funky vision. Nobody cares little business plan. Nobody cares nothing about your little. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your little raggedy vision. Nobody cares. After a while, you don't care. Because whatever care you have is, you know how like you if you have a little sponge and you put it under the sink and there's a whole bunch of water in it, right? And then you squeeze it out. So your dream is like that water with that sponge, and it's all water. Out of about 2 weeks, you done squeeze it all out and it's bone dry. You would never know there was anything in it. That stress done squeezed you, impressed you, that anxiety, worry, how, doubt, fear, all this stuff that squeeze your stuff out so tight. Boy, that sponge is bone dry. Your desire is bone dry. So yeah, you have a want, a goal, a wish, a fantasy, a vision, a dream, wonderful. But you know what you have out, what else you have with it? Nothing. Nothing. You don't have the thing it takes to make that thing come into what you want to call reality. You don't have the how. But you think the how is in the same, comes from the same faculty that the what comes from. And it kind of does, but not the way you think it does. So so you tell yourself, this is what I want. Then you go and say, well, how am I going to get it? Well, as soon as you don't know how you're going to get it, you die. It ends. It's over right there. So that's what he had. He knew what? A puppy. You know what? Money. You know what? His puppy is the same thing as your desire. That's why when he honed in on the law, he could take a conversation that had nothing to do with him and apply it to himself. Because it's not about the things. Because everything that you want, you still get the same way. That's what he understood. He captured the law. That's why I'm making the distinction between a law and a rule. A rule will say, I want to be a millionaire. Marlon wants to be a millionaire. And so then I'm going to try to figure out my way. Marlon's going to try to figure out his way. And we're going to make up our own rules on how to get there. Once you understand how everything is created, you realize it's not about my rules versus his rules. It's about a law. It's about understanding how to do that. So the kid picked up on how to do that. He said, I know what I want and I know how to get it. So now he finally had something to go with his desire, not just the desire itself. So the how and the what and nothing was replaced with the what and how. So the how. So he said the how. What was that? What was the how? What was it? What did he start doing? What was the how?
He started the law of assumption by being like every night thinking about it, going to bed, dreaming about it, how petting it as if it was there, like physically having it, but not having it. Like acting like he actually already had it.
So if you're acting like something, are you something or are you acting?
He was using his imagination. And like Sarita said, to assume it was already done.
So is assuming acting?
No.
He was
No.
being a dog owner.
He was being something.
Being. That's good.
Yeah, Marlon put in the chat, he had it in the mind before he did it in hand.
What does not operate that way? What do you, before everything that you see in your hand right now, what did not start that way?
Can you say that again?
And so Marlon said what he said. You read it off what he said. What did he say again?
He said he had it in the mind before he did in hand.
Okay. Tell me everything that you have in this world physically that didn't start the same way.
It all started the same way.
So then we're not acting then. Can't be true and not true. If it all started the same way and you're absolutely correct, then what is that telling you?
To process what you have before you have it. Like mentally process it in your mind before you have it. Have it in your mind. Live that reality as though it's already 3D.
Okay, kind of. I'm going to say it this way, kind of, but I'm going to say it this way. No. What is it telling you?
The law works for everything.
Yes. And what else is it telling you?
That we are I am. We are powerful.
When?
Always.
So when?
Always. Everything.
When?
When we choose.
What? When?
When we present
Now.
all the
Always.
time from birth.
Always. This is not a turn off, turn on thing. This is not when you get it in your mind, then you get it in your hand. Well, but not for this though. But this doesn't work like that. Or yeah, when you get it in your mind, then you get it in your hand. But not after 5 p.m. It's closed on Fridays. It's 6:15. It's closed on Fridays.
Is that incongruency?
Well, you keep thinking it applies to something, but not this. You keep thinking it applies Monday through Friday, but not Saturday and Sunday. You think it applies 9 to 5, but not 5 to 9. You keep separating days, times, things. Every time it's always something else. It's always it applies for this, but not that. It applies right now, but not right then. It applied yesterday, but not tomorrow. When you do that, what do you get?
Nada.
Yeah, I see.
You get nothing. Essentially, most of the time you get nothing. Because you don't understand what?
Law of attraction.
The law, who you are.
The law of being. Let me run it. The law of being. Being is what?
Enough.
Yeah, but being is what? What is being?
Doing.
Awareness.
Awareness.
What is that?
Consciousness.
What
I
is
am.
Mental.
consciousness? Awareness. The law of being. Whatever you're being, that is what you are seeing in your physical world. Whatever you're being. Being, I am, is the creator. Everything that we see was created by the creator. I am is the name of the creator. So whatever you're being is what you're creating, meaning whatever you're creating is what you're selecting as physical experience in your life because that's what you're being. So when the kid did not know how, he was being what?
Not having a dog.
A
He-
believer.
Say it again.
He was a believer.
Of what?
Of
The
his
law.
desire.
The law.
Of what?
You said before he had it?
Before he had the,
Oh, before he knew how.
he was who?
He was still I am.
As I am, we all
Not.
right?
He is not.
Yeah,
Oh, I
I'm
am
not.
not.
Was I am
Without.
Not.
not.
Mm.
I am not. I am no. I am not now. I am not yet. I am I don't know. I am, you're always I am. Because whatever you put after it is what you're powering it with I am with. I am is powering I am not. That's why you can never get out of it. Because I am is powering it. Because that's what you're believing yourself to be. So right now he was somewhat I am. He had an awareness. I want a dog. I want. But he was I am want. Want doesn't mean have. So because he was in the how, he was stuck in the how, I don't know how. I am doesn't know how. That's what he was telling himself. So then when he heard something else, he was able to switch his identity. He was able to cut off the not to I am have. I am do. I am be. I am the owner of something. Now I identify myself as something else. That is the law. The law of being, right? Who you are operates this law. This law is whatever I tell myself is true. Whatever I identify myself with and as is true. That becomes my physical experience because that is who I am being. That is who I am is. That is who it is aware of being. I am is everything. You're already everything you'll ever want to be. You're just not experiencing it all at the same time because you're not identifying yourself as all those things at the same time. You're identifying yourself with this or as that, not like this, a little like that, not like this. But whatever you identify yourself as and with, that is what you bring into your physical experience. Because the thing that you bring into your physical experience needs you to keep it alive, just like it needs you to create it. That's why you're always saying, I am that, or I am not that. Because anything after I am, all you're doing is giving life to it. It needs you. You don't need it. It needs you. It can't exist in your world without you. It wasn't created without you. You're the only creator. Money didn't create itself. Health didn't create itself. Success didn't create itself. You are the creator of those things. So if you are the creator of those things, if you're the owner of those things, why are you chasing something you already own? Only because you don't know who you are. So you think success is something to achieve. You think it's something to chase. You think it's something to strive for. You think it's a goal you should reach. Instead of realizing it's just a natural expression of your being, of I am.
You need a new marker.
Of I am. It's a natural expression of your being. It's something to, what did the kid say? He was chasing a dog. You're chasing success. So you both want something that you don't have. which is why you're chasing it. So now he said, oh, I know how now. Well, so again, how did he do it?
He went to bed imagining he already had the dog. So he basically became the kid who had the dog.
So he changed
His mind.
his mind. Another way of saying that is that's correct. He changed his mind. And what's another way of saying that?
His consciousness.
His consciousness. He changed who
He was being.
he was
Who
being.
he was being.
He
Yeah.
was, is being. That otherwise is known as how. Every time you ask me how, this is the answer. Change who you're being. When you're asking how, it is, so just think about it like this. When you say you give someone say you give someone a skateboard, and you know how to ride skateboards, so you give someone a skateboard, and they've never been on a skateboard before, but they're willing to try it, but they've never been on one before. What are they going to ask you?
How do I ride it?
How? But why did you give them the skateboard? Why did you give them the skateboard? You ride skateboards. Why did you give them the skateboard?
For them to ride.
You want them to love it too.
You want them to love it too. Well, love it too. What do you mean too? What do you mean when you say that?
I love it. I want you to love it.
You want them to love it
Because I love it.
because you love it, like you. So then they have to end up being
You?
Me.
like you. You. But what is the you that they end up being like?
The part that's asking
The
how.
one that they're aware of.
I am the identity of I am a skater.
Yes. The identity of I am a skater. That is what makes you two the same. Not whether you're two women or two men, two boys, two girls, too old, too young. It is the identity that makes you the same. It's not the physicality. That's why two people who look completely different can do the same things, because they have the same awareness pumping it. That's why you can have, I'm looking at a lamp right here, I'm looking at another light up here. They look completely different, but they both are shining, because there's one thing that's the same that makes them both work: the identity, the awareness of electricity. The law of electricity makes two seemingly looking different things operate the same way, because they're, what does it say? Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is
Good.
no
One.
one God, in all, above all, and through all. So when you gave that person a skateboard, you're saying, I want them to be like me. Essentially, what you're saying is, I want them to have the same awareness of being something that I am, because of how it makes me feel. I want to give them that same opportunity. I want them to be able to feel like me. It's not be like me physically, it's feel like me in awareness. The me is I am. The physical body that you call yourself, that's not you, that's yours. It doesn't matter if you get in the skateboard, they're not going to look like you. So it can't be the body you're talking about that you want to be like you.
Mm-hmm.
And who you is. You is I am. You is the awareness of something. So that awareness you have of being a skater, I think Herman was the one who said it. The awareness of being a skater. You want to share that awareness. So you give them the physical thing that allows them to express themselves that way. The skateboard is not the thing. The skateboard is what you're using so that they can focus their awareness on it the way you focused it, and you'll end up having the same experience. They don't have the same skateboard as you, and they don't have the same body as you, and they can end up with the same awareness, aka the same experience you have, because it's not the physical that makes you the same. It's the awareness that makes you the same. And so you use the physical to focus your awareness on something. His desire for a dog, he used to focus his awareness, his I amness. That is your power. Your awareness is the how, but your awareness of your identity is the how. And if you have the awareness of the identity of I don't, I can't, I don't have, I'm not, then you don't have what it takes to be a skater. Because you're identifying as I'm not a skater. When you first get that skateboard, your identity before you first get that skateboard and know how is I am not. I don't have that. I don't know what that is. But the person who has the awareness will say, oh, let me show you. They're showing you awareness. They're showing you how to be aware of something. Once you catch the law, once you catch the same awareness, you will start moving on that skateboard just like your friend did. This is how. How was he changed who he was being? The little boy changed who he was being. He said, oh, now I know how. Now, does anybody remember when, as soon as he said, I know how to do it, what did his grandma say?
Oh, no, no, no. This is not for you.
Not for you.
When you say, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire, what does your brain say?
Mm-mm.
How?
They said the same thing the grandmother said. You snap back and say, yeah, but I really want it. I know how to do it now. And your brain says, well, your grandma said no. Then she goes off and says, well, your mom said no. Your dad hates dogs. That is your, so what does your grandma, it's kind of messy, but I'm just talking, what is your grandma, when she mentioned your mom and your dad? Now, they didn't speak for themselves in that moment, but she mentioned how they were going to feel. So on that point, they're all one. They're all the same thing in that moment. So he said, I'm going to get a puppy. Grandma said no. She told him that the mom was going to say it and the dad is going to say it. So essentially in that moment, they're all the same. So he said puppy. They said no. So puppy is I am. Grandma, mom, dad is I am not. You got to pick. But two things happen. Which is how you stay as you are and not get what you want. One or two things happen. One is either you try to go to these people, you try to go to I am not and convince it. Beg, whine, cry, plead, pass out, curse, yell, scream, whatever you think you need to do. Throw a temper tantrum, sign a contract. You'll do whatever it takes. You're trying to convince I am not to be I am. Is that possible?
Not that way.
Is that possible?
With the renewing of the mind.
So then is it possible?
Yes.
Yes.
No. No. What did Veronica say? Not that way. But what is that way? So I'm saying no. I hear what you're saying. Yes, I hear what you're saying. But no, not that way. I am not. What is I am not?
Doubt, fear, worry, questioning.
I am unaware.
Okay. So what? So okay. And so what do those become?
Consciousness.
Beliefs.
Reality.
Consciousness, beliefs. So what are they after you consciously believe them for a while? What are they then?
Reality.
They are true.
So then, did they ever grow into something else?
No.
So how do you change it?
You don't.
You don't change it. You only get more of
not
the belief.
The same. The belief. The same. You don't change not into I am. You don't. I am not is I am not. You don't change it. You leave it. You leave it. I am. I'm leaving I am not to I am. Isn't that what the little boy did? He said, oh, now I know. So that's why he started doing something different. But when he started doing something different, listen to my question carefully. And I'm already telling you it's tricky. He started doing something different. what did he do different?
He lives the life.
Okay.
He acted as if he already had the puppy.
Is he acting?
No, he became the kid who had the puppy.
This is not semantics. So I'm not on you for your word choice, but I'm on you for your intention. We're not acting. And we can use the word acting, but we have to be very clear on what we mean by that. We're not like our kids when they try to act grown until the phone bill or the light bill or the car note. Are they grown then?
No.
That's because they're acting. We're not acting. We're not trying to make ourselves feel better about feeling bad. We're not out here trying to figure out how to rationalize or reason why we don't have what we want. We're not acting. We are being something different. So what did he do different?
Changed who he was being.
He changed who he was being. Okay, cool. So what did he do to do that?
He lived the reality.
Okay, perfect. What's a better question? I said, what did he do to do that? What's a better question?
Did he do it?
Nope.
What was he being?
Nope. I said,
Who did he become?
Nope. What is a better question than what I said? I said, what did he do to do that?
How did he do it?
How did he do it?
Nope.
What did he stop doing?
What?
Who did
What
he
did he stop
become?
doing?
Where?
Where?
Can you rephrase the question?
Right.
I said, what did he do? But I said it's tricky.
You said it was tricky.
Where did he do? Where?
In his mind.
Where did he go?
Within.
Did he go
in
to
his mind.
Did he go to his grandmother?
No.
Did he go to his mother?
No.
Did he go to his father?
No.
So then where did he go?
He went to his higher self.
Correct. So not what did he do, where did he do? Where did he do it? The where is the how. That's why you trying to change I am not, because of where you're going. You immediately go to your grandma and say, Granny, please. Meemaw, please. You know, all the names we got for our grandmothers, right? All of them, whatever the name is. I called my grandfather, and I called my grandmother by her first name. I don't know how that ever happened. It was something, I don't know how it happened, but it just, growing up, I don't know how it happened, but it did. But we call our grandparents whatever we call them. But so you're going to go over there and try to convince her. Then you're going to go over there and try to convince your mom and your dad. How do you think you're going to feel after trying to do all that?
Exhausted.
So then how long do you think you're going to keep going doing that?
Not long.
So then how long do you think your dream lives? Hello?
Dang it.
I mean, everybody should be saying something, because I'm showing you how your dream dies.
Not long.
That you stop getting off here and wondering why you don't have anything. Wondering why you want something, but you can't ever get it.
I didn't come here to be disrespected.
What'd you say?
I ain't say nothing.
Oh, right? So it's the same thing. You keep going to I am not, trying to create. You can't change I am not. I am not is for I am not. I am is for I am. You don't change I am not. You leave I am not. You don't change I am. You just change it to I am not. Depending on whatever situation you're talking about. It's both. It's I am either way, but you're either I am continuing or I am no longer to continue. I am starting or I am stopping. It's I am doing either one. So there is no good or bad, right or wrong. There's only I am or I am not. I am doing or I am not doing. I have or I don't. I am is doing them both. So if I am is doing them both, which one's right and which one is wrong? It takes the same power to do both. That's why it says in the book, I am the Lord, right? I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. I am the Lord. I do all these things. The law, the Lord is the law. Whatever you tell yourself is true. According to your faith, be it unto you. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, right? You declare the end from the beginning. I am. You're doing all these things. I told you last week, you don't need a devil. You got yourself. You got your own brain. What do you think? What do you think the grandma, the mom, and the dad represented in that moment?
Devil.
The devil. All the reasons in your
all the doubt.
all the reasons in your brain that tells you you can't have what you just said. And how quickly does it come?
Immediate.
How quickly did the grandma say you
1
can't?
second.
Right away.
Right away.
Finish his last letter off his words. On him. That's I am not. You can't convince that. It's not designed to be convinced. It's designed to either be occupied, you give life to it, or you don't. So you either give life to I am not, or you give life to I am as the puppy owner. Who are you being? You desire a puppy, but you're being the grandma, mom, and dad. You're being the I am not with a desire. So you think that your desire is supposed to overwhelm I am not. You think your work ethic is supposed to overwhelm or supersede your awareness of being. But how? If we agree that everything you see physically was first a thought, then how does what you think about yourself not matter? So you keep thinking like, oh, what do I think about myself doesn't really matter because I'm going to think good about this. It takes you to think. Like what part of this? What part of this are we not understanding? And I don't mind. I'll say it over and over every week. I don't mean it that way. Over and over every week, because faith comes by hearing, and we hear over and over every week. All we hear from and about is the grandma, the mom, and the dad. We're constantly. This is what the Bible is talking about when it talks about the flood. That's the flood. The flood is the grandma, the mom, and the dad. The flood are the immediate things that come to your brain that tells you why you can't have what you just decided. That's the flood. That's actually what it means metaphorically. All the reasons that are going to kill your desire, that are going to flush you out and wipe you out. That's what the flood, that is what it's talking about. That is what it metaphysically means. You got to remember, everything in that book are using physical things to personify states of consciousness. How you think, how consciousness works. It's not talking about male and female literally. It's using it figuratively. It's using the male as the thought, the generator of thought. It's using the female as the awareness of that thought that was generated. I am 16. That's a thought. Now, my awareness of being 16, the awareness of that thing, that is the female. And the thought and the awareness produces a physical form called 16. It's not talking about physical things. It's using physical things to talk about consciousness, because I am, what people call God, is not physical. It's consciousness. It's awareness. That's why you saw that boy when he was I am not. He had a desire, but he was stuck, because not keeps you where you are, as you are. There's nothing after not. I'm not doing that. Do you think the person's going to do it? I'm not going. Are you waiting for them to get there? No. So you know when that's there, it's saying, no more. That's it. So he had to change where he went. Not what he did, where he did. Where he did it. He had to do it within himself. That is the how. Who you are being is your how. And the how is who you're being, and who you're being is in you. How is in you. But it's in you as I am the thing, not I am not the thing. I am the thing. The identity rolls out the how. It rolls out all the answers for you. You can't get the answer from an identity that you don't possess. That's why he wanted something. You think because you want something that you either should get it or you shouldn't get it. But you don't realize how you get it or you don't. That's why I always tell you, you should always listen to me, because I don't care what you want. I'm telling you how to get it. I'm not telling you you should want what I want. You should want what I think. You should think what you should care what I think. I don't care what you think. So you don't have to care what I think. I want you to have what you want. So you don't have to condition what you want. Well, Coach Lucky said only want. No, you should want what you want. If you want to be a millionaire, if you want to be married, if you want whatever you want, you how to get it. You can get anything. You're always getting everything the same way. Everything that you have in your physical world is because of who you are being. That is how it happened. It started within you. Everything. There are no exemptions, no exceptions, no Black Fridays. There's no coupons. There's no discount codes. There's no loopholes. There's no vacation days, off hours. There is none of that. Everything you have is because you got it the same way. You got different things, but you got them all the same way. You have different lights in your house. They're all run off of one electricity. You have different water in your house, but all that water coming out the faucet is coming out of one source. Doesn't matter how many different places it comes from. As far as through this faucet, the bathroom, the kitchen sink, the bedroom sink, the hallway sink. It doesn't matter how many different faucets there are. They're only pulling out of one source. Doesn't matter how many lights you have on in your house. If they're connected to the electricity, there's only one electricity running through it. Everything you have in your physical world is coming from one place, your consciousness. I am or I am not. So when you have a desire, your desire is to get you to go from just I am, the awareness of all things, to now being the awareness of that thing. I now am that thing. And you do that going within yourself and identifying yourself as a puppy owner, as a this, as a that. So when you said, oh, he went to his bed and he started in his imagination. No, what he started doing was being. He started being that thing. He started entertaining himself and seeing himself. I am this thing. I don't care what grandma says, mom says, dad says, the world says, the economy says, my pastor says, this person says. It doesn't matter what anybody says. You are I am. That's why it says, according to your faith, be it unto you. Not according to your pastor's faith, your parents' faith, your this faith and that faith. But guess what? You always end up in whatever you put your faith in. It's not according to anybody else's faith. It's according to your faith. But if you want to use somebody else's faith and adopt that or adapt that as your own, that was your faith. You got to make that choice that this is what you're going to believe in, whether you created it or you took someone else's. It's your faith. Whether you cooked that brownie or somebody else gave you that brownie, if you eat it, you ate it. It's still your brownie. It's still going down your stomach the same way. There's no owner of it. It's going down whatever you put in your mouth. Doesn't matter whether you made it or they made it. It's according to your faith. Whatever you have allowed and accepted and told yourself to be true, you are digesting that. That is going to be a part of your bloodstream, a part of your body. Literally. Your body uses some of it to recreate this physical thing, to keep regenerating it. Doesn't matter where you got it from. It only matters that you swallowed it. Doesn't matter where you got that idea from. It only matters that you accepted it. So for him to be transformed, to go from a non-puppy owner, somebody who wanted something, to somebody who has something, for him to be transformed, he had to renew his mind. Renewing your mind is the how. Renew. I know you can't see it, stuff everywhere. I'm just talking. Renew. How? How do you do it? How do you get what you want? Renew your mind. Have a new thought about yourself in that area. Start identifying yourself as a puppy owner. Your grandma ain't going to help you. Your mom ain't going to help you. Your dad's not going to help you. Meaning the I am nots in your brain are not there to help you. Those are the objections. Those are the things that are keeping the I am not in place. They're not designed to be gotten rid of. They're designed to be left. The reason you have a desire for a puppy or money or anything else is because there is a version of you that already lives that. You are I am, you are all things, and creation is finished. So now, as I am, what part of creation do you want to experience physically? Well, whatever you are identifying yourself as, I am this or I am not that, you're having that experience or you're not having that one. And all it takes to have a new experience is literally change who you are being. Change that. Renew it. Repent. That means to radically change your mind. I am no longer that, or I am now that. The grandma, the world, the outside physical, what people call the 3D, your evidentiary sensory world will tell you you can't be that because you're this. That's what it knows you as. And you have to understand how the law works. That's what the kid got. That's what he finally understood, the law. It's not, the kid didn't say I was too young. The kid didn't say I didn't have any money. The kid found the law. And when the kid found the law, he found out how. And once he found out how, he stopped asking how. That's when I know you don't know how, when you keep asking how. That's when I know you still don't understand yet. Because as soon as he found the law, he found out how. And once he found out how, he applied the how, and the how got him what he wanted, didn't it? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, that's right. Yes, this ain't high school. Participate. Everybody sit up here in the back just waiting for me to know how. He figured it out. How? This is how I got it. Once he understood the how, he applied it, and how, you don't never have to ask how again. Because you know how when you know. When you know the law, you know the how. You know the law is the how, and the how is the law. And the how is who. Who are you being? He was being the person that wanted a puppy and didn't have one. That was it. That was his whole identity. I'm being the person who wants a puppy but doesn't have one. I'm being the person who wants money but doesn't have any. I'm the person who writes a book and wants it to be a bestseller, but I'm not sure yet. I'm the person who wants to write a book, but I haven't written it yet. I'm the person who wants to sell something, but I'm not sure if people want it. You're always being something. And then you go out and you think your actions are going to supersede that, or they're going to overcome that. All your actions do is co-sign it. All they do is agree with everything you do with your hands, mouth, brain, everything you do with your physical apparatus is going to serve that identity. That's why you can't mess it up. You can't do wrong. You can't break it. You can't fix it. It's only you're only physically assembling the world that you are experiencing by the identity you're having. Your identity is doing it. Your I amness, your awareness is running its awareness through your body. Your body is nothing but the executing mechanism. It's not the creative one. It doesn't make the plans any more than your car out front of your house makes a plan. Your car has never planned a road trip. Car's never decided we're gonna go get gas right now. Your car is what you use to do that. Oh, I need to go put gas in this thing. So you are running your idea through this thing. When the kid understood the how, he never had to worry about how again, because he understands the how is the who, and he is the who. And whoever he is being is what he's going to get. I am or I am not, a puppy or without one. So once he realized, oh, I'm being the one who's not, I understand the law now. Oh, I understand the law. So the law says whatever I'm being, I'm going to be. Whether it's being not or being am. Whichever one of those I am, that is what I'm going to get. So I realized, oh, I was going to change it. So when the kid changed it, what did he go through?
What do you mean? What did he go through?
What did he go through?
He changed his mind.
Okay. What did he go through?
He
A
didn't go through
renewal?
anything.
Renewal?
Okay, Veronica, you said something.
Yeah, he didn't go through anything.
So why does everybody tell me what they're going through?
Mm.
Stop it. I knew it was a setup.
Because you haven't changed your mind. You keep telling me it ain't yet. You keep telling me I ain't got it yet. You keep telling me I can't afford it. That's what you're going through. But you're only going through it because you haven't changed your mind. You're telling yourself it hasn't happened. You're telling yourself it's not now. It's not yet. So who are you being when you're saying that? Who are you being?
I am
not.
So what are you going to get?
Not.
Nothing.
Problem. Why are we complaining about it? We're doing everything it takes to get it. Why are we complaining about it? Then we'll say, well, because I don't like it. But you don't like it enough to change it. You don't like what you have so much, but you still won't change your mind. So it ain't that bad then. So stop complaining to me about it. I have no mercy. I don't care at all. Because you know why? Because I got to do the same thing you doing. There ain't no, I'm not a pastor. I don't have no kind of discount into heaven. I ain't got no kind of carpool lane. I don't have anything that you don't have. I got to do everything that I'm running my mouth to you about. Why do you think I talk to you the way I talk to you? Because I got to do the same thing. And also because I'm talking to me while I'm talking to you. Don't think I'm not listening. I got to do the same thing that I'm talking to you about. That's why I talk to you about it this way. Because don't nobody get a pass. I don't get no pass. I ain't got no credit. I don't have anything that you don't have. And you don't have anything I don't have. None of us on here are better or worse or greater than or lesser than each other. None of us. We all got to do the same thing to get the same thing. And we all gonna suffer if we don't. We're all in this, it's all the same game for all of us. Some of us are just better at playing it than others, depending on our, just for different reasons. But some of us are better, and we have to learn. We have to mature to understand how this works. You keep asking me, how do I, okay, yeah, but you said all my bills are paid. Well, but how am I going to do it? Well, asking that question just lets me know that you're not. Because when you first got that skateboard, you asked the same question, how? Because you haven't had that experience and you don't know what to do. But now I've told you what to do. How? How do you do what you just said? How? First, you go within to identify the who, to change the who that you have been to now the who you choose to be. I am now that. I'm now the skateboarder. I'm a skateboarder. I'm the best skateboarder of all time. I'm nice on these skates. Like, I'm nice on it. Isn't that what the kid was doing when he was playing with the dog? Every night in his bed, wasn't he identifying himself as that person? Having the experiences that person has? And didn't he get what he wanted? Hello?
Yep. Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay. But guess what was even better about that story? What was even better?
Exactly what he wanted.
Yeah. What was even better than that?
Nobody was
Now he-
talking to him.
It was the law is no respecter of persons. Like the grandmom said no, but even though she said it wasn't for him, the law is no respecter of persons.
Right.
Even the babies can do it.
Right. So-
Yeah, and he can apply that with anything anyway.
Okay, but what was even better than that?
The way in which he got the puppy,
Which was what?
a big show, so his parents couldn't give the dog back or tell him no.
Oh,
So you missed that. And your brain could never tell you that. And you keep letting your brain mess with you, but your brain would have never figured that out. Because what it said, if they would have gifted the dog, they would have gave it back. If somebody would have gave him money for it, they wouldn't have let him buy it. If somebody that was the only way he was going to be able to get what he got. Not just get it, but he had to not just get it, he had to get it a certain way that he could keep it. Now, is your brain going to tell you how to do that? I'm sorry?
No.
Hello? Hello?
no, sir. My brain is my employee, so no, it works for me.
It's not in charge.
Mm.
Your employee gonna sit around and figure out how to do the business taxes? Your employee gonna figure out an accountant for your business? He's like, that employee, he or she's gonna be like, I just work here. But you don't, yeah, but you let your brain tell you what to do and it just works here. You're the mind, you're the employer. So it not only got it, which is a reflection of omnipotence, the ability to do what I said, and how it got it, omniscience. I not only have the ability to get it, but I know how to get it. Because if I did it the wrong way, you won't be able to keep it. So getting it doesn't mean anything if you can't keep it. Getting your health don't mean anything if you can't keep it. Getting some money means nothing if you can't keep it. Getting clients means nothing if you can't keep them. Getting something doesn't matter if you can't keep it. But how you get it is how you're going to have to keep it. There's a great book right here by David Hawkins. It's called Power and Force. And essentially what the book is talking about is that premise. How you get something is how you're going to keep it. So if there was a war to get something, there's going to be a war to keep it. Because whoever you took it from is going to want to come back at some point. However you get it is how you're going to keep it. So through his omnipotent, all-capable, all-powerful mind, all-knowing, omniscient, I have the power and the know-how to get you this thing so that you can get it and keep it. And you don't have to deal with grandma, mom, and dad. Did he deal with grandma, mom, and dad? So who did he not deal with?
The devil.
Outside.
Yes, he did not deal with the devil. He did not deal with outside. He did not deal with I am not. So if he didn't deal with I am not, he didn't try to change I am not. He didn't try to fix I am not. He didn't try to bargain with I am not, cry with I am not, blame I am not. He left I am not alone. Leave I am not alone. Leave that identity that you no longer want to be. Leave it alone. Identify yourself as the owner of the puppy, as the owner of the business, as the owner of $1 million, as the owner of your relationship, as the owner of whatever it is the puppy is to you, for you. Leave it alone. It's not something to fix. You can't fix it. Everything is what it is. It's not good or bad. It's just what it is. But when you don't know what it is, you don't know how to use it. So you often misuse it. And then you blame it and are mad at it. But it's the same thing to and for everybody. So the people who don't know how it works either don't use it at all or misuse it. The people who do don't use it when they don't want and use it properly when they do. And it's the same instrument. It's the same thing. It's not the thing. It's you. It's you. Who are you being? Who are you being? I know you can't see it, so don't even waste your time. Who are you being? That is what you're seeing. That is what you're physically experiencing. Who you're being on the inside. When you don't know any better, all you do is talk about the outside. How hard you work, how long you work, how many jobs you have, how much overtime you have, how much your taxes are, how you did this, how you're doing that. That's all you're concerned about is what you see. But what I'm telling you here on these calls is what you see is only the outcome of what you don't see. The within, who you're being, is pushing out what you're seeing. Who you're being is determining what you are doing and its outcome. Because your awareness has to determine what your hands do to make sure that it gets the outcome of who you're being in here. That's why when he became the puppy owner, it wasn't just the power to get the dog. He had to have the omniscience. Your awareness has to have the know-how. It has to have the know-how to get the dog. Because otherwise you either won't get it or you won't keep it. So that's why your work, what you do, doesn't matter. What you think you're doing is not helping you or hurting you. It's only co-signing for you. It's only saying, yes, this is who I am in physical form. It's not changing who you are. It's just showing you who you are. That's why what you do doesn't matter. So when you keep asking me how, I'm telling you how. The how starts with the who inside. Change the who you're being inside. The who you're being, when you change inside the who, it will change who you're being. When you change who you're being, you will go from I am not, because I've changed that. I'm not that anymore. I am now, I am the puppy owner. I am the $1 million. I am. It's not just the words are an expression of your awareness that I am announcing who I am aware of being, who I have chosen to be. But when he said, I know how to do it, when he chose how to do it, did he have the dog in his hand?
Nope.
No.
No.
So then what if he would have said, well, how am I going to do it? Well, show me proof. Well, you can't sit around and ask God to do nothing. Well, what did he do? Hello? It don't take that long.
Nothing.
You haven't admit you're wrong. Don't take that long. What did he do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, he did nothing on the outside.
But everything on the inside, we're married.
So he's still.
He went to his higher self.
Yes. So he actually
Manifested.
He
Did something.
you did something.
Okay.
You keep thinking because you're not going outside, running the whole world, crying for everybody, applying for 1,000 loans, going out for 800 jobs. You think that's doing something. It's only doing what you're already aware of being. That's all you're doing. And if you're aware of being something you don't want, it doesn't matter how much you do. You either won't get it or you won't keep it. Doing that we talk about here comes from the inside, from in. That is where the kingdom of heaven is. That's where Christ in you is. Your I am awareness. That is the power, omnipotence, and the wisdom, omniscience of God. That's what Christ is defined as in the New Testament. The power of God and the wisdom of God. The power, the omnipotence, the wisdom, the omniscience. In you, I am. In you, there is power and wisdom. There is the ability and the know-how to get you any desire you already have. Because your desire is not something to be chased. It's something to be assumed. It already exists. You already are that. You're just not experiencing it because you don't identify yourself as it. So the desire is there just as a triggering mechanism to get you to start identifying yourself as your desire. I now call myself my desire. I want a new car. I am now a new car owner. I want a relationship. I'm now in the perfect relationship with a perfect person. It's perfect. To start identifying yourself as. It's not something to chase. It's not something to go after. It's not a goal to set. It's not. This is not. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it because I almost lost my mind again. It's not something to go after. It's something you already are that you're just not experiencing because you haven't identified yourself that. Because you may want it, but the boy wanted the puppy until he knew how. We want so many things. So we think because we want it that we're identifying ourselves as it. No, we're only identified thus far with the desire of it, but not the being of it, not the owner of it, not the doer and haver of it. So when you say, well, when you pray, you have to have faith with works. Well, faith was what? He said, okay, well, I want this thing. So I'm going to operate. Faith is what? The ability to believe something that you can't see or you don't have physical proof of yet. So he said, well, you know what? Okay, well, I'm going to try this out. And now I know what to do. So he tried it before he had proof. He's 9. He can do it. How come you can't do it? He just want a little puppy. You want money. You want health. You want grown-up things. So let me say it this way, the old school way. So you think God cares about getting a little boy a dog, but not you enough to make rent? Or you enough to make your mortgage, or you enough to have a good relationship or perfect health? You think God cares more about a dog? And you trying to keep the lights on to get your business cracking or your health back? No, what did Sarita say? The Lord, the law, I am, is no respecter of persons. Anyone who's able to identify themselves as a skateboard rider will become a skateboard rider in experience. It has nothing to do with the body. It has nothing. It's all you're identifying yourself in mind, just like someone else who does that. That is the truth. That's where the truth lies, not in the variable, but in the commonality, the common denominator, the awareness of being. Your awareness of being is the who that does the how. From inside, you'll never see it. How many people, when you're reading that story, even if he got a dog, do you think he would have got it that way? Anybody would have planned that out? And why did that matter so much? Because not only did it get him what he wanted, it allowed him to keep it. They couldn't give the dog back. That is an example of what? Creating your own reality. Isn't that what you all say? Isn't that like the bumper sticker of 2020 something? You're the creator of your reality. Like it's like a kind of Oprah refrigerator sticker. It's true. You are the creator. I am is the creator, is the owner operator of the physical experiences you're having. The physical experiences you're having are the physical expressions of who you're being in here. As above, so below. As within, so without. Outside is the first, so why is that the first place you run? Outside is the first, so why is that the first place you try to fix? Outside is not first, why is that the first place you try to argue with? So you have to argue with people, doing this with people, doing that with people. And like I said, I talk to you this way because I'm talking to you and I'm talking to me. And I got to live the same thing I'm talking to you and me. And so your mind will bother you about this. Then once you get that under control, it'll start saying, well, okay, but then, all right, fine. But what about that? What about this? What about that? They're not gonna let you dog. Then where you gonna put the dog? Then how you gonna walk it? It'll mess your whole thing up if you let it. Same one that bothers you for not having it will be the same one bothering you once you get it. If you don't get it under control. Look, man, this is the way it is. This is who we are. You may not be used to it. I understand that, even respect it. But this is how this is going. This is who I am. So every time you come to me with I'm not, I'll just come right back and be like, yeah, this is who I am, period. I ain't got to argue with you. You don't have any power. You're just a scoreboard keeper. You're not a player. You're just keeping score of what I've given. Now I'm bringing in something else. Score this up. Add me up. This is the way this is working. So he got the dog he wanted and in a way where he could keep it. Your awareness, that dog represents anything. That puppy represents any desire you have. It's all the same. The things are different. How you get it is the same. Focus on what's the same. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it is you want. It's all the same. That boy want that puppy just as much as you want $1 million. That was relative to him. So there is no big or small. There is nothing you can't have. You already have it all. Just like I said last week, it's the belief that you don't. So you're always wildly coyoting everything. You're always chasing everything, thinking you have to work for it, earn it, but you already own it. But you don't know that you own it because you're not experiencing it. But you're not experiencing it because you're experiencing the opposite of it. You're not experiencing having it. You're experiencing not having it. That's all this is. That's all this is. You're just experiencing not having something that you have not been willing to, for whatever reason, you have not been willing to identify yourself as that. Maybe you didn't know, like that boy, you didn't know. You have a sincere desire, you don't know. That's why I come here every week. I come and I say the same thing over and over and over, because a lot of us didn't know, don't know. And we have to keep hearing it until we do, and then hearing it until we understand. Right? Until we understand. Over and over and over until we understand. We understand that everything starts within you as the who. And when whatever you do within as the who, whatever you now decided yourself to be, that is how things are going to work out. How things work out is basically you working out. How things work out is basically you working out. It is your awareness unfolding into physical form, like a red carpet being rolled out. Start from the top, goes here. The end is where you start. The end is your beginning. And the beginning is your end. How do we know? So you woke up in the morning, let's say. You woke up this morning. At night before you go to bed, when you go to bed, that is the what?
The end.
The end. When you wake up in the morning, you're starting what?
A new beginning.
So you're starting the beginning from
The end.
the end. You woke up at the beginning, you went to bed in the end, and you woke up in the beginning from the end the night before. So the beginning and the end are
The same.
in you and out of you are
The same.
your thinking and your physical reality are
The same.
The same. Absolutely.
the same. They're the same. That is the law. That is the law that is no respect of persons and does not change. The law doesn't change. That's why once the boy understood what the law was, he could change his experience immediately. Because he understood the law. It wasn't a rule. It didn't just work for a kid. It didn't just work for puppies. It didn't just work for white or black or male or female or old or young. Or it is the law. It has no respecter of persons. Persons meaning persona, character, or mask. Meaning it does not respect, it's no respecter of the role you want to play in life. Of the role you want to play. You want to be a murderer? Has no problem with it. Ain't stopped nobody from killing anybody, has it? Hasn't stopped anybody from going to jail, has it? Hasn't stopped anybody from drunk driving, has it? So all those things we call bad, does that stop it from happening? Because I am is doing that too. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. I am the Lord God, and I do all these things. It's no respecter of the role you want to play. That's why you're here. You're on this stage to be an actor or an actress in this play called life. You're here to act. You can act a fool. You can act wonderfully, but no matter which one you're doing, you're acting. Because this is only a temporary thing physically. The experiences that you get from this temporary physical thing are what you take forever. Most of us have been to Disneyland. All we have now are what? For those of us who've been to Disneyland and we're out there right now, what do we have?
Memories.
Memories. Who do you think has those?
Everybody.
Who is that?
I am.
I am. I am. Your brain doesn't have memories. That's where they're stored. They don't have them themselves. They don't create them. They don't generate them. That's where they're stored while you're in this physical form. Once you're out of that physical form, all those things are out. You ever seen a dead person have a nightmare and come about the grave? Oh my gosh, what just happened? No, because your body is where everything is stored. It is not independent of you. It is interdependent on you. It is where you execute all the things from the inside. That's where you push all that out into physical form. It's first in your body, and then you use your body to do anything else after that. Drive, walk, talk, whatever else it is. So I'm telling you. So when you ask me, well, coach, how am I going to do that? Well, how am I going to do that? I'm telling you now. So don't say you don't know. Just act like you don't want to do it. Just act like you're either too scared to do it, too afraid to do it, or whatever else it is. But that's why you can't. I'm going to say it this way. I'm saying it this way. It doesn't matter where you go, anywhere you go, it doesn't matter. But you can't come here part-time. This is not a part-time lifestyle. You won't win. It's like trying to get full-time benefits working part-time. Anybody get that? Wouldn't everybody love to do that? You know what? I got 20 hours, 15 hours a week. But you know, I need benefits. I need sick pay, vacation. They're giving that out anywhere? This is a lifestyle. This is not a cult. This is not some kind of prayer group. This is not a meeting. This is helping you understand how to use your consciousness to physically live the life you want to live on purpose. Like LaToya always says, on purpose. It is all or nothing. Because you're either I am or I am not. You're either the person wanting the puppy, the boy wanting the puppy, the woman wanting the money, the man wanting the relationship. You're either the person wanting something without it, or you're the person wanting something that now has it. Either I am or I am not. There is no gray area. There's no vagueness. There's no ambiguity. There's no, well, you know, it's complicated. No, it's not. Jump off the roof. See how complicated gravity is. Applied thermodynamics, the laws are not. Rules we complicate because we get to put our humanity in it. Oh, well, you know what I'm saying. you know what I mean. No, nobody cares about your ashy, crusty lip, dusty mouth. Pay attention. There is I am or I am not. There is no other. There is no other outcome. There is no other way to think about it. There's no other way that's going to work out. You either have a puppy or you don't. You wanting it doesn't mean anything except that it's your opportunity to be. But if you don't choose to do that, then you can want forever or stop wanting, but you won't have it. Meaning it will never become a part of your physical experience. You have it no matter what. It's only yours. Nobody can take it from you. It's like, well, if you don't take this dog, somebody else is going to take it. No, it's not like that. That's not how that works. It's yours or it's no one's. It's not for anyone else. It's your desire or it's no one's. It's not for anyone else. So nothing can be taken from you. But you can walk away from it. You can abscond. You can quit. You can do whatever you want to do. It's yours. Whether you use it or not is up to and on you. This is how you do it. It doesn't mean this is not going to be the last time I say it. So this is not like a once and forever situation. But are we understanding how to do something? Is this clicking?
Yes.
Yes.
Is this clicking like for Tuesday though?
Absolutely.
Go within. Yes. Coach
It clicks always for me, Coach Lucky. I don't know about everybody else, but for me, always.
LaToya, I understand. You and I, we understand. These other losers. I mean, these other people. These other people. They're doing the best they can.
Coach Lucky, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
Right? So, right? This is what I want us to understand. Once we understand that the how is coming from the who, and the who is the you that you are choosing to be at any and every given moment. Who am I being? Whoever that is what is using the how, is determining how this is going to be worked out. So when he was the who that had the puppy, then the how, because of the who he was being, then the who has the puppy knows how to bring that into physical experience. All you have to do is choose the you. That's all you have to do. The rest will do itself. Okay.
Go ahead, Auntie Shaky.
Okay, so Coach Lucky, there's something that you said that was really, really good that I caught. Oftentimes people say things like, procrastination is just assuming that, that this opportunity is always going to be here. Or they'll say things like, if you don't take advantage of this, somebody else is. It's almost as though if you don't act now, that thing will never come back around for you. And you just said something that was so powerful and worth saying again, or I would love hearing it again.
Yes. So okay, let's back up a little bit before that. What does the book say? It said let patience. Who remembers that? Who remembers?
Is that be a virtue or be a guide?
Have its perfect work or something like that.
Yes. Let patience have its perfect work. So what? What is the reason you should do that? What does it say? It says, let patience have its perfect work so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. Patience doesn't mean laziness. Patience doesn't mean idleness. Patience doesn't mean lack of action. It means just think of someone you in your life that you trust implicitly. Like you just know that when they tell you something, it's going to happen. Right? So just imagine now that person said to you, hey, I'm going to come pick you up in 15 minutes because I want to take you to get some ice cream. And you agree. So they're going to come take you up in 15 minutes, pick you up in 15 minutes. What do you do during that 15 minutes?
Get ready.
Okay. Anything? I mean,
Wait.
Wait. Okay. Anything?
Patiently.
It doesn't matter.
You think about the ice cream. You think about how much you're going to enjoy yourself in a few minutes. Yeah.
Cool. So then, what don't you do?
Doubt.
Worry.
So then, so you think of any area of your life. Which one of those are you doing? Which one of those? If you know your boy or you know your girl is coming to pick you up, hey bro, I'm coming. We're gonna shoot through. We'll go. Let's go play some pool. Or your girl call you, hey girl, let's go out and just walk around the malls, get out a little bit, and you're like, all right, girl, when you be here? 15, 20 minutes. All right, bet. So yeah, you go and get ready. You do your part. You're not doing their part. You're not calling them. You're not looking outside the window. You're doing your part. I'm gonna go get ready, get myself together, because you know they're coming. You're only doing what you're doing because you know they are. So it's not that you're not doing anything. But whatever you're doing, going to get ready, going to the bathroom before you go, sitting on the couch just waiting there chilling. Whatever you're doing is because you implicitly believe, you assume that that's going to be true, that that's going to happen, right?
%100%. 100%.
Right?
Yes.
Hey, so then is that what you're acting when you pray for something? Is that how you act? I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm asking you, I want you to think about it. Are you acting with that same level of confidence? Are you doing all the same things it takes to get ready? You're not calling them, looking out there, looking on the map, looking at the street, standing out there, calling them where you're at. I just hung up. What do you mean, where am I at? Well, I can't sit around and do nothing for you to come pick me up. What else are you supposed to do for me to come pick you up? Well, maybe I can help God out. No, I don't mean that. Maybe I can just meet you down at the corner. Girl, it's pouring rain. Why you got to do that? Well, I got to earn it. I can't just sit there and let you come pick me up. I got to earn it. I got to go out there, maybe a little rain on me, make me feel humble. Maybe make me feel gratitude. Maybe, yeah, it sounds silly and foolish, but we do it. Tell me we don't do it. Just sit there and tell me we don't do that. We do, right? So when I say to you, no, you have something, it's yours. Nobody can take it away from you. And so you can be patient. Patient doesn't mean that you're waiting, that it's a process. It's got to take long. It just means that you are resting in the Sabbath. The Sabbath doesn't mean don't do any work. The Sabbath means the work is already done. You're resting in the fact, in consciousness, that that everything you've created is already finished. So you're resting in the fact and the knowing that it's already done. Just like when you sit on the couch waiting for your friend to roll up. Just like when you're doing your hair before you go real quick, you're resting in the Sabbath. It's not a lack of action, it's a lack of effort. You're not efforting to make it happen. You're only moving because you know it's true. That's what the Sabbath is. That's why you can be patient. It doesn't mean that you're waiting or you're taking long or it's going to be forever. No, it means you're resting in the fact that there's nothing required of you. There's no effort required on your part. You've already done your part. You agreed to go. You've already done your part. You agreed to be. Prayer. You agreed to be. So when you agree to be, that is an eternal transaction. That's in. That transaction, when you agreed to go, that is in. I know Mark is not there. That's in. So if it's in, who's going to steal it? Who's going to take it from you? Did they literally break inside of your consciousness? Even if they broke inside your body, even if they cut you wide open, they couldn't get to it. They couldn't get to it. Has anybody ever, have you ever heard a surgeon go on TV and they were like, man, I did surgery. I cut, a person did heart surgery. I opened their chest up and God just ran out. I saw God break out. He had some J's on. He had a bonnet on. I mean, no, that's not true. He had a wave cap on. No, that's not true. We won't talk about it. No. Then God just got about it. He had some Chuck Taylors on. Was down the hallway booking. You can't. Nobody can take anything from you. It's yours. But people are so filled with. We've been trained and conditioned to believe that our enemy is on the outside. We've been trained to believe that we have to fight for the outside. So that's why we're always trying to manipulate the outside, whether it's a person or a condition or a thing. We're trying to manipulate things. We're trying to make things work, fix things, make them happen. We're trying to hustle hard, hustle fast, hustle forward, hustle backward, fail fast, fail up, fail down, fail quick, hurry up. We're always trying to manipulate the external world instead of internally aligning, meaning being being the desire. Whatever this is, I now am that. I'm that. That is internal alignment. I am now being that. From that consciousness, all ideas, all thoughts create things. The ones that you think the most. The thoughts that you, not all the thoughts that go across your mind, the ones that you entertain. All the people that you see in your world are not your friends, just the ones you entertain, the ones you bring into your world as, this is my friend. So is that thought your friend? Think about it, like, is that thought your friend? Is that thought helping you? Is that thought nourishing you? Is that thought making you the best of yourself? Or is it doing the opposite? You have to watch your friends. Birds of a feather flock together, so do thoughts. Thoughts of a feather flock together. So being is an internal, is an in thing. It's an internal alignment. You are aligning yourself with an idea. Rich, success, abundance, sickness, those are all just ideas, concepts. They're states of consciousness. They're not living things until the being, I am, goes in it. And how do you know? Because you identify yourself as, I am rich, I am successful, I am abundant, I am sick. I am is all of them. I am is none of them, but I am is what it takes for all of these things to become alive. There is no rush. There is no hurry. Nothing can be taken from you. That's why Jesus said, no man takes my life from me. I have the power to lay it down again. When the devil, right, when doubt went all the way up to that Christ mind, to the mountaintop, to the highest level of consciousness and said, hey, if you just, I'll give you all these things if you fall down and worship me. Why do you think Jesus said no? Because there was nothing the devil could give him that he didn't already have. How you go? It's like when you have a 5-year-old niece or a son or a daughter or nephew, and it's Father's Day, and they give you that Fabergé cheap brute cologne, the one that burns your nose up, put it on chest hair, burnt up, and everything else got a rash, right? And they gave it to you. They're so proud, and they give it, but they bought it for you with your money, and you're like, right? But they think they're doing it big. It's Father's Day, it's right. They mean well. But they can't tempt you with your own money. Well, that's why the devil couldn't get Jesus to acquiesce to anything. The doubts of you will try to tempt you to acquiesce, to give you something that's already rightfully yours. That's why you end up losing the whole world. You end up gaining the whole world and losing your soul. You end up swapping something out that you never had to even fix. It was already yours. Right? So there is no rush if it's already yours. There is no market saturation if that's your desire. Market saturation is not how many people are doing it. It's the fact that too many people are doing it the same way, which is mid and mediocre. There's so many people doing things the same way that you don't care who you go to. A tailor, a barber, a hairstylist, a car repair shop. Pretty much everybody's doing it the same way. Mid and mediocre. Why do you think we pay for greatness? We'll pay for anything that's great. For a museum, look at paintings, people have been dead for centuries. But it's great. Because watching some kind of sports team, somebody's on there doing something that's like, man, they doing it. Right? Or watching a movie, somebody's acting. Or whether, it doesn't matter what they're doing, we will pay for greatness because greatness is rare. We all have the potential to be, but most of us are not living our potential. Greatness is rare. The actual omniscience, all-knowing, omnipotence, all-flowing, all-present awareness flowing through a human form produces something humanity calls greatness, genius, rare. But all of us have it. Most of us are not using it. Most of us are using anything and everything else. That's why we're all the same. So it's market saturation. It's a whole bunch of the same stuff in the same place doing the same thing at the same time. So then they tell you, well, don't go into that business. Well, I can go into that business because I'm not them. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I can go right into that because I'm not them and they're not me. So it doesn't matter how many of us are doing it. It only matters how we do it. And I do, because of who I am, I do mine in such a way that I'm always winning. I always have enough customers. I always have enough clients. I always have enough money. I always have enough. Whatever the outcome of that desire is, I always have it. It's mine. Nobody can take it from me. I have my own amount, my own desire, I have my own thing. Well, nature is prosperous. Has anybody ever seen the sun get tired? Everybody seen the sun? Like, man, I just ain't got it today. Everybody see the moon? Be like, man, the moon, man, what's wrong with the moon? Look like the moon is off. Man, somebody didn't pay the bill. Nature don't run out of anything. And we are one with nature. We created nature. So how do we run out? How do we run out of money? How do we run out of energy? How do we run out of time? How do we run out when we're infinite beings by nature? How are we behind and we're omnipresent? There's just the belief in things are what makes these things become physically expressed. But we can believe anything. So no, we're not in a rush. No, we're not in a hurry. No, there's not too little. No, it's not going to run out. No, people can't take your clients. No, they can't take your business. No, they can't bankrupt you. No, they can't run you out of town unless that's what you believe to be true. Because to be honest with us, which is what we're doing, but we're all living our own reality. We're not all living the same reality. We're all here, but we're all living it from our own perspective, our own lens. We're not all living the same reality like we think we are. It's a whole nother time. We ain't got time for that today. But point is that whatever you want is yours. No one can take it from you, and it's not no more limited than the rays of sun, than the water in the ocean, than the grains of sand on the beach. Your money, your health, your time, your joy, your peace, none of those things are more limited than anything else that nature produces in abundance, and you produce nature and you are limited. How does that work? How do you have a limited belief and you got an infinite ocean? Anybody care to explain? How do you got a limited belief and you got an infinite sun that's been shining for God knows how long, infinite rays, everybody get, and you got limited belief. Do you know how stupid you sound? Yeah, I know sometimes Veronica don't like me to say it, but I just got to do it because it makes my whole chest hurt. I can't do it. You sound ridiculous. But everybody sitting around listening to, like, yeah, well, you just got to work through them. You just got to power through them. What? You don't work through it, power through it. You don't work through and power through. Get rid of it. That's not true. You can't work through a lie. You can't power through a lie. It's a lie. It's not true. And you'll be enslaved by that lie. You are an unlimited being. There's nothing you can't do because there's nothing you can't think. Nobody can stop you from thinking. Nobody can make you think anything. Nobody even knows when you're thinking or what you're thinking. And from there, that's where everything's created. So you can get yourself into and out of anything. And you over here talking about a limited belief and you're an unlimited being. Where did you get that? Who told you that? And why in the hell did you believe it? And why did you repeat it? Especially to somebody like me. Oh no, that's a no-no. That's a oh no, thank you. You're limiting yourself with that belief that there is no such thing. You just made it up. But you're going to experience it. Everything is made up. You're going to experience it. You're the creator. But that's not your true nature. Your true nature is as abundant as the ocean, abundant as the stars in the sky, as abundant as sand on the beach, abundant. Nature is abundant in everything. And you created that, and you're limited. And you're the greatest creation of all of them. I mean, what are we even talking about here? So yes, nobody can take anything from you. Nobody can steal your dream. Nobody can break inside of you because that's where your dream is. It's in your awareness. Nobody can break inside of you. Nobody can steal anything from you. Nobody can hurt you. Nobody can harm you except the belief that that's true. And that's what produces the experience. What did Job say? That which I greatly feared has come upon me. The thing you were already believing to be possible happened. And then you're like, well, I don't know how this happened. What do you mean? You go back in retrospect and look at your life, look at some of the things that have happened, and take a look at what you were aware of being, what you thought was possible or impossible for you. You'll start to realize things match up a lot more than you care to believe. But humanity does all the same silly stuff, so we all have so many people to commiserate with that we never actually have to be responsible for anything. We don't know how to be responsible, much less take accountability for it. We just spend all our time arguing with each other, complaining, blaming, guilt, shame, and none of those things change or fix anything. It's not necessary. When that boy realized, oh, now I know how to do it, did he go through depression? Did he sit there and be like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Why was I take me so long? He was like, man, I won. I figured it out. Grandma, look, you can say whatever you want. You can't stop me from thinking, so it's on and popping. It is what it is. He didn't spend why are we spending all this time? What does Sarita say? The Lord's no respecter of persons, so you don't have to spend any more time on your past than he did. You don't have to spend any more time on not having what you wanted or why things didn't work out than he didn't have what he wanted and why it didn't work out. As soon as he figured out the how, which was the who, which was the him that he was being, and changed by choosing, didn't he get the dog? So then why do you think your awareness cares about what you did or didn't do or all the other stuff? Why do you keep going back and reliving your childhood, your past childhood traumas, your ancient shadow self and your shadow self and your past regression of the old you when you were Harriet Tubman in your other life, and you go back into, why do you keep going back when you could just be like, oh, now I know how to do it. I got my dog. I got my money. I got my health. I got my relationship. But you like it. I love it. I ain't going with you though. I got to stay up here in this time because I like the internet. I ain't going back to riding. No, I'm not going back to taking no bath in no creek nowhere. No, I'm not about to be up here. I need cable. I like the NBA. I like the NFL. In 1500, they weren't playing it. So I'm not going back there with you. So if you want to go, you go right on ahead. Send me a line. I don't even know how you're going to talk to me now. Get a dove or a bird. I don't know. But I'm not going. I'm just going to let you know I'm staying up here where there's cable, where there's air conditioning, where I'm not fighting no wolves and no bears. I ain't sleeping in no cave. I don't know how to make a fire by hand, but I have a heater and I have a fireplace. So I'm going to go on and stick with that. It's as close to fire as I need to get. If it warms, however it warmed me up, it's cool. I don't need to get into all this other stuff. You don't need to get into all that, is my point. You don't need to go back into woe is me or why it took so long. You already have everything. Just start spending, start being, start choosing your awareness. Start being it. And whatever that puppy is for you, you want to run it. All right. That's all I have to say. Because I don't want to hear, that's all I have to say. Questions, comments?
Sparkle Bailey.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, family. This was another banger. This was fun. Gavin was here. He had to head to a tryout this morning. He has an RBI tryout with the Astros junior team this morning. And so he dropped in the comments before he left. He said, that man, Coach Lucky, looking exquisite with the polo. Talk to him, Coach. Listen, we're used to you. Say it again.
You got to pop off sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Playing no games up here.
We appreciate you, Coach. Every week we appreciate you. I love seeing more people come into the community that I'm familiar with, people that I know. I love seeing them come into the community because outside of this community, there's more avenues for us to, because typically there's like a small, for years, I'm gonna say this, for a few years now, it's been like a small number of us here. So we would just kind of congregate together. So to see more people that I know coming into this community, into this space every week, it feels really good to see more people start to expand the way that they process day to day, and being able to communicate with my peers on conversations like this rather than the surface BS that we pretty much talk about. These conversations are way more interesting to me. And I just want to continuously thank you for showing up every week and just doing what you do. No one else does what you do, Coach. This is a bomb place to be, and I'm loving the reminders. This was dope. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Vero.
Thanks every week for coming. Thank you. Questions, comments, anything else?
Yeah, this was amazing. Bit in my face. Sometimes I need it like that. We was just talking in a youth circle, like you might have to talk to me like that on my one-on-ones.
The group chat is popping. The group chat is popping.
The group chat is popping. But yeah, what you said today, like it really is about, like, there's so many laws. There's law of attractions, there's law of gravity, like there's laws. And they're like, if I step on top of that building, if I jump, I'm going to hit the ground. So that law is just as true as the law of being, law of assumption. So it's just about why do we complicate it? I don't know, but that is over because no, I'm just gonna rock out with what it is that I assume. I don't have to change nobody's mind. I don't have to make them do anything. It's just where I am right now. Change it within me, change it in my higher mind, and everything is gonna fall in place. So love it.
Just like that.
Love
Perfect.
it.
Just like
Perfect.
perfect.
You know, Coach Lucky, I was watching a video, and they said they were reading the Bible, and it said that in the Bible that God had killed something like 300,000 people, let's just say, and that the devil never killed one. And that that shook me for a second. Um, but I listened to it from an aspect of what you just said. It's not the devil that's taking us out. It's that conscious, as we know now that God, consciousness itself, like we're the ones that um, are the dream killers. We're the ones that's killing it. It's not a outside source. It's not a devil or anything like that. So yeah, so that was just powerful. Just made me think about that.
Absolutely. Because that's the truth. That's what the whole book is telling you. Unfortunately, most people don't know how to read it. They don't understand the symbology, the numerology, the astrology. They don't understand so many things about it. So they don't understand. It's almost like somebody that you know versus somebody that you don't. When you're speaking to somebody that you don't know, you know what they said. But when you're speaking to somebody you know not only what they said, but also what they mean. And a lot of times we don't realize how much is lost in translation when you don't know somebody or something as much. You may know what they said, but you don't always know what they mean. And so a lot of things are lost in the esoteric, meaning not just what I said exoterically, EX, but the ES, esoteric. What did I mean by what I said? And so many things are missed in that translation because therefore we just read things on a surface level and we read them figuratively, literally, not figuratively. That's why it says in Ephesians 4:24, where it basically just talks about how this is an allegory or a parable, that this story is not a true story. It's just a story that is being told to you to embody or exemplify a truth, to illustrate a truth. And that's what all these stories are for. They're personifications of consciousness. They're there for you to understand how the inside of you is working. You can't see how it works. So they're using physical things on the outside to show you how they work. So the devil was the grandma and the mom and the dad. It wasn't that makes them bad people. It's not about them as people. They're just showing you what the devil looks like. So when you have a desire and it's like, oh, you can't have that. Well, the parent, that is the devil. That is the doubter. That is the part of your brain that tells you all the reasons you can't have what you decided, right? So putting it in story form is designed for you to be able to see like, oh, that's why I feel that way. It's not designed for you to get hooked into the story to say, well, what's the grandma's name? What's the kid's name? Well, how old is he now? That has nothing to do with the value of the story that we learned this morning. We don't know the kid's name, the grandma's name, but we still were able to take away the truth of the story. And if we would read books like that with that understanding, because that's how they're written, that's what they're for. When you can do that, you can take away everything from that book. You can take all the stories out of it, just like we took the story this morning, and you can see the truth. Like, oh, I see what the grandma is. I see why the kid was thinking that. I see what he was thinking before. I see what he was thinking after. I see how he changed something. I see the fact he didn't have to go outside of himself. He was only 9 years old, so he wasn't grown. He didn't have a license, and he still got what he wanted. So that is why I said, well, what did he say? Well, what did he do afterward? Because I try to get us to look at every aspect of the story, because then you can see every aspect of what's going on within you, why you object to certain things, why things feel hard for you, why we don't believe certain things, or why we want something but we don't have it. You can see somebody else who wanted something and they didn't have it. That story is now probably, I would say probably at least 80 years old, that story, at least I would say. So point being, like, that the same stuff was still happening then, right? So it's not something outside of us. It's not someone outside of us, be it the devil or God. What the book say? All the gods and all the gods and all the devils, all the hells and all the heavens are within you, right? They're just how your consciousness is functioning. And so when it's not functioning properly the way it should, they call that the devil and hell. You become in a state. When you're being something, you become a resident of that state. So when the doubting and all the worrying and stressing, you're in hell. When you are perfect, whole, complete, with patience and all the other things that are expressions of your true identity, you're in heaven. You're in peace. Everything is the way it's supposed to be, right? So, so absolutely. I'm glad that here you can get a better understanding of really what's going on, so that when you walk out of here, you get ultimately a better understanding of yourself. That's all this is all about, is you. That whole book is about you. That all these calls are about you. All right, each one of us as individuals, for us to look at ourselves and say, okay, what am I? Where am I? Who am I being? Who am I choosing? And you know what? I can choose again. I can just say I want a puppy now. I can say now I understand why I didn't have one. Now I understand how to get it. You can pop off from this meeting with a puppy, your own puppy, your money, your wealth, your health, selling, being so, whatever. You can have anything, just like he had that puppy. The Lord is no respecter of person. The law is no respecter of the role you choose to play. So you get to pick the role, and the role plays itself. The role is already complete. You're just stepping into it, and you're acting it out and acting it through, and all the things that goes with it. So yes, thank you so much for that. It's absolutely correct.
Another thing I'll add is like during the week, we kind of like in our home, we make fun of each other when we say things. Like Gavin says things like, "Oh, I'm sick," and so Cassidy will say, "Oh, what would Coach Lucky think if you said that in front of him? What would Coach Lucky say?" So everybody is like cleaning up their awareness. They're holding each other accountable to be more aware of how we say things. Exactly, Vero. Um, and it's helped us to kind of sit up straight a little bit with our verbiage and our awareness of how we talk about certain parts of life. You know, when Gavin says something is hard or something is like, I can't do this or whatever, it's just like, okay, now if Coach Lucky, would you say that in front of Coach Lucky? He's like, no, because if Coach Lucky was in front of me, probably pop me in my head and be like, I'm not gonna say the other word I want to say because we're recording this, but in a more private setting, little dude, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? And that reinforcement of just remembering all the power is right here in your mind. So these exercises and these conversations, they definitely help. They definitely reach, and they're affecting multiple generations, not just our generation, but our children as well. They're teenagers and a young 20-year-old, and they're holding themselves accountable, to how they show up for themselves. So what's better than that, It's dope.
Nothing. I tell my daughter all the time, honey, the greatest gift I could ever give you is to help you remember who you are. That's the greatest gift I could ever give you, because once you have that, you have everything. I don't ever have to be concerned about anything else, because once you know who you are, you'll understand that you can do anything, have anything, be anything. You'll understand that you have options, and that you can choose whatever option best expresses who you want to be aware of being. And that's the greatest gift I could ever give you. Everything else is going to come and go, fade, rust, run out. The money will run out as far as, and I have to give you some more. It'll all that stuff will run out. But when you know who you are, you will now become the progenitor. You become the generator. You become the owner operator. You become you become self-propelling. You become the person that is in charge of your experience the whole time, all the time, in everything. So absolutely, it's the best thing we could ever give anyone, including ourselves first, and then anyone else, and then our kids, because so many of us didn't get the awareness of this understanding, this information this way. So that we grew up with a lot of beliefs and conditions that we're realizing now are not true, and they're not serving us, and they're not helping us. So we can give them to people who haven't had as many as, don't have as many to get rid of as we do, or we've had, so to speak. It'll be even easier and even sweeter for them, right? But shoot, we found ours in time. We woke up on time. We remember who we are on time. We recognize and realize who we are on time. And so we get to popping from here. This is our day where we realize, now I know how to get the dog. Now I know how to get that thing I wanted by just being the who. How, the how is from within, the who is from within, everything is from within. I pop off out there. And that awareness in me will not only lead me right to that thing, but give it to me in a way I'm not robbing Peter to pay Paul. There's no sacrificing over. You didn't see the dog had to sacrifice. You didn't hear the boy sacrificing. You didn't hear the boy grinding. You didn't hear the boy working hard. You didn't hear the boy earning it. You didn't hear the boy with no job. You didn't see the boy cutting no grass. You didn't see the boy doing anything in the physical world to earn that. You didn't see that. So a lot of things that all those things that people are telling us that we have to do, those are just human things that they think they've had to do. So they'll try to put it off on you like you have to do it. No, what all you have to do is go within yourself and identify yourself as the end, not as the how, as the end. I am now this thing that I desire. I'm now that thing. And then whatever you want to do physically, keep doing it. Let me say that real quick, because I know people have a thing with that. Let me explain something to you really quick. Well, let you guys this really quick before you go. When you all the things we talked about today, now you know what living in the end is. Now you know that you just identify yourself as that thing. That's all you have to do. If you still go to work, go to work. You still take your medicine, take your medicine. You still call 100 people a day, call 100 people a day. I am telling you, literally, I'm telling you, don't stop doing what you're doing physically. But what I am telling you is with that same energy, don't stop thinking what you have chosen. I am where my desire was, I now am it. That then will bleed into what you do. It'll carry over that awareness of being your identity, being more aware every moment that you now are that thing will expand in a way where it will start to control what you do. It will bleed into it. It will automatically show up. So you don't have to stop calling people. You don't have to stop going to work. You have to stop taking your medicine. You don't have to stop doing the physical day-to-day things you're doing. All I'm asking you to do, all I'm telling you to do, all the law requires you to do is what that boy did. I know how to get it. I just now identify myself as a dog owner. And so every time I think about that dog, whether I think about my money or my health, whatever my desire is, I identify myself as that desire. And every time I think about it, I identify myself as that. Period. Whether I do it all day because I like it, or whether every time I think about it, I identify myself as the desire fulfilled. This is I describe it. I talk about it as the way I want it to be. This is the way it is. Right? That's all you have to do. Everything physically, keep doing. Go to work, take your vitamins, take your medicine, go to chemo, run around the block, whatever you're doing. I'm not telling you in any way, and I'm really telling you don't, because you'll prove that it's not your actions. It's not your works that justify you. Your works are only the expression of your faith. Your faith is whatever you have told, whatever you went inside and told yourself was true. So if you now identify yourself within as that being true for me, I'm now the puppy owner, I'm now the millionaire, or I have the business, or I have 100 clients, or I make $10,000 a month, or whatever your desire is, it doesn't matter because it all works the same way. You just pick how you want it to work for this area. But this is how it is. All you have to do is identify yourself with that. It will do the work. It will find the puppy contest. It will find the way to get the puppy to you that nobody could take it from you, but you would have never got it any other way but that. Your awareness will do that. You don't have to stop doing anything you're doing. It'll prove to you that, man, I could have never imagined that this, because once you identify yourself as that, everything you're doing is in subservience to that. It's a servant to your awareness. So you're naturally, your footsteps are guided, your paths are directed. You're naturally going to be impelled and moved. You don't have to consciously think about a plan. Just keep doing what you're doing, whatever it is you're doing, but in your mind, that is where the change is. And that will change everything, because that's where the creator is. All right. Anything else before we let you go?
That was so good today. Thank you.
Good.
I again have so many notes, writing down all my lies. Because sometimes it's clear to get on, like, what am I actually thinking, and then make it a lie. It allows me to kind of free myself from it. So it was really good today. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, wonderful.
Ooh, I'm gonna steal that, Leanne. Make it a lie. Yeah, make it a lie. And
All those
Herman, I
stupid
see
beliefs.
right? I see Herman's first time. Welcome. We love it here.
Yes, thank you for coming. Thank you, all of you. I see a couple
Yeah,
of
there's a few newbies, and we just want to welcome you guys. We do this every Saturday. If you want to subscribe, I put that in the chat. Let me bring it up again. If you want to subscribe and get the notifications, you can sign up here. Oops, nope, that's not the one. Mi mal. Hold on. Un momento. And also the shift really, this is like surface. The shift really happens in the youth circle. And that's where we meet Tuesdays, Fridays, and then you get a one-on-one with Coach Lucky as well. Different than Saturdays. It's awesome. And then the subscribing, I'm putting it in the chat again. I pinned the youth circle, so you guys, if you're interested in checking it out, please do so. And yeah, awesome.
All right, everyone. Well, happy Saturday. Thanks for coming. We practice. Now go out there and play, apply it, be a doer, not a hearer only, and you'll prove that you are who you think you are and who you've always been. It's just a matter of awareness. It's identity. It's not effort. The more aware you are of who you are, the less effort you'll have to put in things because your yoke is easy and burden is light. You just see Jesus out there grinding. You just see that higher mind of awareness out there grinding and trying to figure it out and trying to scrape and live check to check and be messed up and not have no shoes on. You know, your awareness, it's everything. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. You have everything. You have everything you need already as you are, right? So go out there and make it happen. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day, wonderful Saturday, and I'll see you all next week.
Thank you.